These two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.
Hey, George Henry here.
And Larry Richardson.
And we are These Two Guys. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to say that we have a big surprise coming. It's more of a aesthetic surprise coming. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is right now, but I'm going to say we're going to share it in the next couple of episodes.
And you got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned and watch it because a lot of effort's gone into this, and I think you guys will all like it.
I think you will too. Also, by the way, nothing to do with Donald Trump or anything, but this is episode 47.
Oh, yes, true.
All right, episode 47. So, we like to thank that.
Trump, if you are listening, though, you can give us a shout out.
Yeah, give us a shout out. We'd appreciate that. Yeah, we just, we're just here to have fun.
And also like, comment, subscribe. Our numbers are slowly climbing, as you guys know if you're watching our shows. But we know that most of you guys are watching are not subscribing, not commenting, not liking. It's just a simple little click. That little click helps us a lot. It doesn't hurt you. Doesn't hurt you a lot. And if you click the notification bell, if you are an avid watcher, you will know when the new shows are released. Right. So do us all a favor.
And I will say, I want to thank everybody who's on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because our shorts that we put in from the shows are getting a lot of views. We had one on earlier this week, 28,000 views. We have 45,000 average views a month on Facebook. So we certainly do appreciate everybody going to that.
We greatly do, yeah.
Now, one of the things that's been really blowing up, and it won't go away for whatever reason, is the whole Charlie Kirk conspiracies. One of the things about them is that there's more than one. There's not just one that everybody's kind of globbing onto and saying, this is what we believe happened.
Right.
There's, the Petton explosive microphone under the shirt, right? There's, of course, the Tyler Robinson aspect of it. There is a guy supposedly with a palm pistol on there. There are people saying that the Mossad is involved. There are people saying it's a government thing that did it. We do not know if any of the footage that we show you is real footage. I mean, the only real footage was the original footage that day. I don't know if we show something on there, it could have been AI adjusted.
I think the roof video footage has been confirmed to be actual. I think it's just a graininess according to the.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there is footage out there that's actual footage.
Right.
What we're getting second and third hand.
Oh, okay. So,
may or may not be that original footage.
Correct.
There's some question about, well, the guy's got a shadow, then he doesn't. I don't know. So what I just wanted to say is that it's been a year later, okay? There's no way for Larry and I to confirm this 100%. So we're just looking at this as not even, I don't want to say entertainment value because we're not trying to entertain ourselves with this, but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there that people are talking about.
And not only were we not experts, I've never even been to Utah.
I've been to Utah. I've been to Utah. I went through Utah one time.
I heard that's about it.
That's about it. That's about all you need to go in there.
I heard that's about it. That's all you need.
So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So we do want to go over some of the 5 biggest conspiracy theories that's circulating online and just kind of discuss what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and give you guys some video footage of some of the stuff that's being passed around.
Yeah. Of course, one of the top ones, I think, the one who's getting probably the most clicks and the most views, I don't know 100%, but I would say probably Candace Owens.
I would say 100% Candace Owens.
Is getting the most clicks. And of course, she's the one who says Tyler Robinson's not the guy.
Right.
All right. She says there's no way in the footage that she's watching that she can see it. Now, she posted this on one of her shows recently, and she's posted it again. Here's some rooftop footage where she's debunking the fact that she doesn't believe that Tyler Robinson had a gun. Take a look at this.
What we do know is that once he hits that rooftop, he is suddenly able to sprint. And this limp that he has in the footage is completely removed. So let's watch that. Okay.
And she also kind of goes into the training aspect too, right? She shows the video of an actual military person conducting the exact same type of crawl, which I guess what she's saying is that it requires some sort of training to learn how to do this,
Or watching a YouTube video.
or watching a military video.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible to think that Tyler Robinson couldn't have figured this out on his own.
Right.
The question would be is why? You know, why would he bother to do something like what would his benefit be to doing a crawl like that?
I would say to stay the same reason the military folks do it is to stay unseen. A lower target is a hard target to see or to hit, and I think that's, you know, I don't have any military background. Did play Call of Duty a lot.
Yeah.
This is why squat was part of the button mashing there. And a lower target is harder to see and it's harder to hit. So I think that if you're going to pull off an execution like that in front of 30,000 people, you don't want to be seen at least prior to pulling the trigger. And if you can not be seen coming to the point to pulling the trigger and not be seen leaving after the trigger has been pulled, staying low is the best way to do it, especially if you're up high and every one of your other possible witnesses are down below.
Right. Now, of course, the prosecution talks about they have DNA evidence. They have a palm print down there. They have text and other evidence tying Robinson to the crime. There is some video out there where someone purportedly talked to Robinson's family saying that Robinson never did say that he did it.
No. Well,
Now, that I don't know if that's accurate or not. Now, that came from the Alex Jones camp. So,
okay.
so you know,
Yeah.
that's just
think of that as you will.
think of that as you will. You know, we can't say anything to that. What I am curious about though is, and this is something that I don't. All right, Tucker Carlson's got this little talk here where he talks about how does a person go from being a fairly normal kid to someone who's hell-bent on doing this act. Take a look at this.
How do you go from being this seemingly normal person to murdering a stranger with almost a dead certainty you'll be punished, you'll spend life in prison or be executed for it? Like, that's a lot. That's a deep commitment, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Of course it does. But, like, how did it happen in this case?
Now, I guess there's an assumption that Tyler Robinson was, quote, a normal kid. Now, you've talked about things that he was radicalized over a period of time, right?
According to the family, and this was early reporting. This was, just days after the murder. His family had came out and said that he was raised conservative because they're still conservative, but he had over a period of 2 years, which I guess would be 3 years now, he started to become more and more radicalized to the left. That's when he took upon his lover, Lance Twiggs, who I believe is transgender. And I don't know if that was the family's way of kind of retaliating against it. Maybe they didn't feel that was appropriate, and that's the reason why they said it. But they said it. I think it was his grandmother, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the father, both who said this in separate interviews. Now, I've never seen interviews. I don't know. It's all hearsay, but it was reported in the news. It wasn't really something that was like shared in a podcast.
I did see an interview with the father, but it was, like you said, it was right after the shooting. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember, I can't think of the whole context from that, but there was something in that interview where he was saying that they helped to turn Tyler in to the police.
Right. So
I do remember that part of it. But, again, that's just one part of the conspiracy. Candace Owens has been blatant about the fact that she thinks Israel's involved in this. She thinks the Mossad is involved in this. And like Larry has said on many occasions, there's an awful lot of people to keep quiet.
There's an awful lot of people. And again, if you're going to pull off an assassination, now I agree. And I've had this conversation, I think you may have been part of the thread on Facebook where I told a friend of mine, if you want to fake a death, right? Let's go to fake a death, Rob. If you want to fake a death and you want people to think that this person has been assassinated and murdered, then yes, you want it to happen in front of 3,000 people. That's the way you get away with it, because 3,000 eyes, not to mention the phones and whoever's attached to those phones, have witnessed this execution. The guy gets up, he's going in and out right now. Nobody's going to question it, right? Because the blood bag is gone off and everything went according to plan. But if you're going to publicly assassinate someone, usually if you're doing it that big, then a radicalized, Islamic or some type of terrorist organization or something like that will usually come out and try to claim, this is us. This is what we did. This is how we roll.
Well, if it's a radicalized terrorist organization,
If it's a radicalized terrorist, and that's just another aspect,
Yeah,
right?
that's
You
another
got the,
aspect,
you got the, trying to disappear yourself, and then now you got the possible, assassination. Then why go through all that and not claim it, right? Why pull a patsy in there in front of 3,000 people, go through all this Rube Goldberg device machines and stuff like that, right? With 3,000 eyes, with cameras that's attached to millions of people, live feeds, multiple cameras. Why go through that and risk having any of that exposed if something went wrong, or for people to see and connect the dots? Because that's kind of the reason why I think we have so many conspiracies, because we're looking at so many different angles of so much stuff happening at the same time. You got guys throwing baseball signals. The guy with the palm pistol, which you guys will see the video in a little bit. I saw one where someone thinks it was a detonator, and then there's a video showing the scrambling after they pull Charlie Kirk. Somebody goes like this, and they put their hand near their hip, and someone said, "Oh, the guy put something in his pocket." And then another video says after he put something in his pocket, the guy that supposed to had either detonated the device or palm pistol, they said that there was a handoff to him. So you got a lot of eyes, and I think that's what's creating a lot of this, is that if you look at the same video 20 different times with 20 different sets of eyes, you can come up with 20 different stories.
well, and I think too, what also is causing a lot of this is the holding back of evidence too, that we're not seeing, that the courtroom may be seeing.
Yeah.
And they're not even seeing all of it. My understanding is they're
No, not for the
they're going
preliminary, yeah.
piece. They're going piece. So what could solve a lot of this is putting it out there.
Right. I agree. I think there's a causality though of doing something like that. One, it could totally throw out the case, and maybe that's the plan, right? You throw too much evidence out there to the rest of the world before this case is even started in this trial. You already have so much public opinion coming into the story. Then you got to pick a jury, which every person on this planet knows about what's going on. They're going to be privy to all this other information that's out there, and then they're going to go sit in a jury and go, well, that's not what I saw. That's not what this person said. That's not what that person said. And they might use that in their determination on how to find him either guilty or innocent. So I think it makes sense not to just throw everything out there, because you can definitely taint either the prosecution or the defense's side of the arguments.
Now, I see what you were saying before about all the different things that were going on in that. Not being an intelligence officer, not being a trained assassin or anything like that. But in my mind, I would think you would want the most chaos, the most confusion, and the most disruption of everything if you were going to assassinate someone in secret. I would think the more confusion, the more supposition, the more conspiracy you have, the easier it is for you to get away with it.
That's a possibility. I'm not either. I mean, I've played Assassin's Creed, not just coming up with somebody and with a knife,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's intelligence officers, there's guys that have, decades of spycraft knowledge and skill sets, and these think tanks, these guys that basically all they do is what was the guy from that movie, Law Abiding Citizen, right?
Yeah.
Remember with Gerard Butler? And that was his job. You tell him you wanted to do something, and that guy would just think it through, right? Engineer mindset. There's people out there that
was a great
do
movie
that.
too, by the way.
That was a great movie. There's people out there with that mindset that may have come up with that same concept. Yeah, let's do this. There's going to be a gunshot, and while the gunshot goes off, we'll be able to escape XYZ and then do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But I still can't see why they knew he would be there. If Tyler Robinson had absolutely nothing to do with it, if no one told him to be there, then how would they know he was going to be there?
Well, and again, if you want to listen to some of the people that in the conspiracies out there, there is no actual close-up footage that is clear enough to say 100% that's Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, so, yeah, a lot of it looks like him, a lot of the same size. There's some certain facial things there, but there's never like one where he's Smiling at the camera.
But they would either had to have had footage and edited of him the day of, because that's what got aired. That's what the father saw, pictures of his son. He recognized his own son. So either his father would have to be in on the fact that that wasn't really him on screen, even though the father claimed it was him, and that's why he called it in, or the people who planned it had already videotaped someone that looked like Tyler Robinson, had it already set up, and then sent it to the news so that they can broadcast it.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I don't know the timeline on this. Did Tyler Robinson's father hear from Tyler that Tyler did it, and then he saw the video and confirmed it? Or did he see the video before Tyler even said anything to him and talked him into
Now,
turning
that's a
in?
timeline that I have no idea. If you guys know this, let me know. But my understanding was this. The assassination happened. The news was aired. This is a person of interest. The father called it in. And this is where I think, I don't know if the father called him or if he called the father or if there was a conversation between him and the father after or before the father called it in or recognized him. Mm-hmm. But at some point, he went home and then the father brought him in the next day.
Right.
Next day. So I don't know if the conversation happened that morning or afternoon. And that may be one of those things that they're not releasing to us because, again, that can either hurt or help prosecution or defense.
Now, I don't remember, and maybe some of you folks out there remember, how long after the shooting, was it the next day before they determined it was Tyler Robinson?
It was the next morning. Because
the dad was the one who notified them that I think it's my son.
And drove him in, yeah. And actually brought him to the police station.
So it had been
24 hours, not even 24 hours,
yeah,
I think.
About 22 hours.
Something like that.
Okay, so that's curious. All right. So, again, I mean, how much evidence is enough? I mean, you certainly think that they have enough evidence to convict him.
Well, that's the funny thing with trials. Like, I like watching a lot of, court cases and whatnot, right? And sometimes you don't see a lot of preliminary stuff. This is stuff you would read in a, what's the guy that made he makes all the legal books? Wrote The Firm and...
Clancy.
No, not Clancy.
Mike.
No, not Michael Crichton. He did the one with...
gosh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He did the Firm with Tom Cruise. He actually wrote that. And he does all these legal... The Client. Yeah, he does all these other ones. You guys know, let us know.
Come on, I can't think of his name.
We're going to pop it up on the screen anyway.
I know,
but just because I know you want to prove us wrong, you're going to throw it up there first, and I commend you for it. But this guy... if you watch a lot of his stuff, his movies or read his books, you'll hear all the time that the prosecution would always tell the defense, we got an ironclad case. You're going to always throw that out there because the ideal is you have to go through the discovery first of all, right? Like both sides have to have whatever you're going to bring into court, they both have to have access to it. They have to have access to everything. You can't just bring something into court on one particular day and for the defense or prosecution and the other side not know about it. So
but in the movies they try.
In the movies they try, and they always get busted. Ask Joe Pesci, right? You can't do that. So I would assume enough evidence and enough confidence where the prosecution is saying it's ironclad. The judge gets to know what's out there, and the judge obviously has enough for it to go to trial because that was what the preliminary was for. Do we have enough evidence to even prove that he was going to go in there? Now, the part that really surprises me the most is that
John Grisham.
There we go. Yeah, good call. Good catch.
I was going down the alphabet there in my head.
And for you guys at home that's still trying to work it through your head, we got you. We beat you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the defense hasn't used any of these conspiracies, which I believe the defense or someone from the defense, and I've heard this, I have not seen it, so I'm not confirming it, but apparently went on X and stated that they weren't going to use any of it because it didn't make any sense to them. So, or something that there was probably more harsher words that were used, but
then again, we're talking about preliminary hearing, right?
Right.
So in the preliminary hearing, if I'm correct, it's the onus of the prosecution to state their case to a believable amount for it to move forward.
Correct.
So you're not going to hear a lot from the defense because they don't want to give away their strategy.
But they both have the same information.
Right.
They both aware of everything they're talking about.
Right.
So it's not like the defense can say something that the prosecution's not aware of,
Yeah.
and vice versa. The judge is hearing it, a lot of it for the first time. The judge is aware of it. They have all the evidence in front of them, but they're hearing both parties state their case. And I
Right, but what I'm
think
saying is, though, is if the defense lawyer says, "Oh, well, wait, this is what we think," that gives away their strategy on when they go to court for the regular, trial.
Right.
It gives away, their
defense
strategy. Yeah.
Which makes sense because there's no way this was not going to trial.
Yeah.
There was no way. I don't care what you would have prevented from the defense
Well,
side.
now, I don't want to jinx anything, but we had another guy go to prison and end up dead before he went to trial.
Before he went to trial. Yeah.
I don't want to say that. I don't want that to happen to Tyler Robinson, but it could.
Well, like I said, if bodies start appearing from anybody, from any line of people that could be involved in a conspiracy, the moment that one of those guys shows up dead mysteriously, then you have something. Then for sure you have something, right? Like someone who, dies in a car crash, you realize they never drove a car in their entire life and they're in the driver's seat, right? Then you got to start questioning.
Or then again, someone could die and everyone would go, "Oh no, it's a conspiracy," but it was just an accident.
It could just be an accident. But the way
But
things
if two
are
or
going,
three happen.
it's going to feed into it. I think it's going to feed into it.
So, one of the other conspiracies out there is that there were multiple shooters.
Yeah.
All right, I don't give that any credence whatsoever.
I don't.
Because even if you go with the puff of the shirt and the, the neck wound and
The
that
chain breaking.
breaking, it still doesn't indicate. Like them digging up the whole thing the day after, within 48 hours of the thing, maybe there was another bullet in the ground they wanted to get out of there. Maybe there was Petten residue on the ground that they wanted to get out of there. But that doesn't give me multiple
Shooter.
assassins.
Educate me on Petten. What's Petten?
Petten is the explosive that the military uses
For shape charges, because you can actually direct.
Right, you can direct the charge at that. But it's been around. It's been around for a long time. There was evidence of Petten in the Lockerbie 747 explosion.
Right. Remember that?
So it's been around for a while. It's not something that's new, but it is a military grade explosives. It's not something that you can go out. I imagine if you had black market contacts, maybe, but I wouldn't think you could go out and get that off the street or on, off a black market or a dark web, So it's military grade. We have it. Israelis have it. Other people have it. So.
Oh, I'm sure if it is military grade, there's a lot because we've sold a lot of shit that we had to other armies.
Oh yeah.
So
or we just give it away.
Or we give it away.
Yeah. So I don't see that. Because that would mean somebody else got away. Someone in there was not seen and was able to escape. So I don't go by that multiple shooter ones.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about JFK.
Yeah, except JFK. Yeah, because even that picture was kind of grainy and everything else, and you can almost see with the
that
ballistic
picture was
evidence,
clearer than the Charlie Kirk one.
It was.
When
Well,
you
you
think about
know what I found out, that a lot of video footage is actually shot in 4K. They just never had the technology to show it. So I think not like Star Trek, which is shot in 35 millimeter and stuff like that, but a lot of old videos were actually shot in 4K quality.
Really?
Yeah, back in the 70s. It's been around for a long time.
How about that?
They just never had the technology to actually air it in that format. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now the multiple shooter things kind of got me too. And again, as I stated before, you have multiple camera angles, you got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of chaos, and a lot of movement right before the shot rang out, right? But again, if you take just the first row of cameras, that means cell phones, the actual cameras that were there behind him on the sides and everything, and watch all of them at the exact same time right before that shot went off. It's like that movie Vantage Point, where there's which the same thing that happens over and over again, but
And
you
each
get to
people
watch.
see it.
And every one looks like it's an actual conspiracy. That's what you get. And if you have not seen Vantage Point, watch. It's not one of my favorite movies, but it's very good.
It's a
for
decent
this.
movie.
Yeah, I think if
It's
you
got
watch
Matthew Fox in it.
Matthew Fox, what was it? Forrest Whitaker, and get a lot of good stars in that movie.
Yeah.
But if you watch that movie, it may even kind of spark something with you, why we're seeing so much, because that's what that movie's whole premise is. You watch it from multiple vantage points, and when you watch this vantage point, this person did it. Oh, no, I'm watching another vantage point. Well, wait a minute. Now this person looks suspicious. And the whole movie shoots the exact same scene over like 12 times. And you're watching the whole thing from 12 different vantage points, so you're seeing 12 different things. And I think this is exactly what's going on. So when you see the multiple shooter thing, I saw one where they said there was a guy that was on the right of Charlie Kirk that shot, because there's a hand going up like this right when the gun went off. We have a video again that's going to show a guy that puts his hand up on his shirt. He comes back down. That was, they said that was a shooter. There was another guy that was just to the left of him. If you're watching enough of these, and I get them, they're on my feed all the time. There was another possible shooter, which wasn't the two guys that I mentioned. There was one that was a guy on the left supposedly had been a shooter. But again, I always wonder if someone else was going to pull the trigger, what were they going to do with Tyler Robinson if he was there, or whoever that was supposed to be? So I can see where it would be someone got up on the roof just to make it look like somebody was going to shoot, and they actually didn't shoot, and someone down below shot.
Well, they had to have that video of someone on the roof.
They had to have the video of someone on the roof.
Yeah.
This is where my conspiracy brain goes in. Like this part, I can see where you have somebody up there who never actually pulled the trigger, because you only heard one shot.
Yep.
But where did that shot come from?
And it's grainy.
And it's a grainy video. You know if you've seen the college videos, you know what they're going to look like. You can set that up, and I hope this doesn't start a whole new strain of conspiracy theories that I said this, but you got somebody up there who just doesn't shoot, but somebody down on the ground takes the shot just to make sure they don't miss.
Yeah. Well, let's show that video we were talking about where the guy they say he may have a palm pistol in his hand. Let's show that, and let's look at it right now.
It's a palm pistol. Yes, it is possible, and it's a palm pistol. I was a Marine. I was a very good shot with a pistol. I cannot reproduce this shot, but we're talking about the best in the world here, and this is what we're looking at. Khaki Shirt's left arm is braced in a modified shooter stance for stability. He turns and looks at Charlie, another practiced movement, raises his right hand into position. Charlie gets shot in exactly that moment. Then Khaki Shirt does not look surprised and continues to look directly at Charlie as if he's following his shot.
So you see this guy, he moves his hand up on his arm there. You see it. Now look between his fingers there, and you see something round between his fingers. And then after Charlie Kirk reacts and gets shot, the guy doesn't really jerk or move anything, but he looks like he puts his hand in his shirt, and he comes out, and when he jumps the fence, he's got nothing in his hand. There's nothing. His hand are totally together. There's nothing between his fingers, and he hops the fence and he goes over to assist with Charlie Kirk there. Now, you mentioned, well, where's the muzzle flash?
Muzzle flash, recoil.
There wouldn't really be a recoil in a palm pistol because you're looking at a 32 caliber usually.
Yeah, 32 will get. Even a 22, you get a slight bit of a kick.
I don't know.
I shoot all the time.
I do too. I haven't shot recently, but I do. I've never had a problem with up to 38, 45. Yeah, I get a little bit of that on that one.
Yeah.
But then again, okay, so here's another aspect of this. If there was a loaded microphone under Charlie Kirk's shirt, right? Something had to set it off.
Right.
What if that wasn't a pistol, but what if that was a laser, like a remote control?
Okay.
And that was pointed at that, and he had it pointed at it, and that's what set it off.
Now, I've seen that too. So the same guy that we mentioned with the palm pistol, the exact same video, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have saw this. There's one where they said that he kind of goes up and he squeezes. You can actually see him do this right when the shot goes off. You can see him making a squeezing motion, and they said that he hit or pressed or squeezed a detonator. And if you go back and watch that video again, it's very slowly, you'll see him, looks like he does something like this. And if you watch the continuation of that video, because that guy was part of the security staff. He wasn't just an innocent bystander there. He was part of Turning Point USA. You see him jump over the turnstile that was there, the barrier, and as he walks around, he goes around to what would be Charlie Kirk's left, and as he's running in, there was a video I'd watched where someone said that the guy that was to the right of Charlie Kirk grabbed something off the table, and then he hands it to the guy who squeezes the supposed detonator or the palm pistol. So again, no matter which video you watch, you're going to see something different, but that's out there too. So if you want to look up that one, I don't have any, and we'll see if we can find that video for you.
I haven't seen that one, but I saw it. They do show a little bit where he comes around there, but I don't see anything being handed off in that video. But you definitely see there's something between his fingers, and then when he jumps the railing, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So, and again, I think every assassination attempt has had, there's more than one shooter. Not everyone, but I mean, a lot of them come up with that theory at some point.
Yeah.
There may have been more than one, except for Sirhan maybe, and John Lennon, and
in the last few on Trump, because even the guy, was it yesterday?
Oh man, another guy.
Yeah, the guy that went to his Los Angeles thing, golf course, and camping it out or whatever, had guns and ballistic. Yeah, so far he's a lone guy. The last guy that got caught at the other golf course, I think that they still said he was a lone guy. I don't think that the one that actually died, I don't think they've actually said anything about him. And the one that happened with the dinner, I don't know whatever happened. That happened away too.
What happened to him?
Yeah. So there's conspiracies.
Well, there's conspiracies all over the place.
But yeah, no, the lone shooter thing, I don't know. But again, we digress. I mean, we can go on that. There's a lot of, again, as we said, there's a lot to digest here. But who would benefit from this?
So there you go. So if this was a conspiracy and it turns out that it wasn't Tyler Robinson, right? Somebody had to benefit from this.
Right.
All right. Who benefited the most from it?
And you can comment there, but
you can comment on it. Who do you think it was? I know this is going to sound really harsh and really cruel, and Larry, you're probably going to disagree with me, but I think his wife benefited the most from it.
Yeah, I've heard those. I've heard those stories. I think as a wife, I don't know Charlie Kirk personally. I discovered him by following the algorithms of words like such and such destroys this person destroys that person, and this person puts this other person in their place. And of course, if you're on the left or right side, if you're on the left, it'll probably be someone like Dean Witters or Destiny or something, right? Or so that's doing that. But if you're on the right, you got Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and all these other guys. So I kind of, dabbled in both sides, and I start seeing this Charlie Kirk guy, and I start listening to some of the things he said, and I thought they're pretty logical. But one thing I've always tried to do was I try to watch the entire video. I don't like I'll watch little snippets, and if I think there's something that can be taken out of context, I try to watch the whole thing, because I think a lot of stuff gets taken out of context. So I didn't know who he was before maybe 2024, late 2024 is when I first realized who he was. And I kind of watched his video. So I thought he was a nice guy, but I'm thinking.
I did too. I watched a lot. I mean, I was really, I thought he had a few things there that made me go, huh? But for the most part, I think his head was in the right place, but I also think he said things that were confusing to some people.
I think a lot of things he said was confusing, but also I've kind of learned that, like the whole black pilot thing, right? When he said that, I got frustrated, and I thought the same thing. And then I saw another interview and another part where he was talking about it, and he kind of laid it all out. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I've traveled a lot. I've flown on planes all the time. I don't see black pilots. Right. And now that the thought's in my head, if I see a black pilot, I might come up and ask myself, now that I know that there's a DEI initiative, would this person be something? Not to say that I don't think there are black pilots. We know there are black pilots. We know there's female pilots. We know there's Asian pilots and Indian pilots. We know that's not even debatable. But the question would be, now all of a sudden that it's in my head, would I think that? And that's what I got out of what he said. Not the fact that there's no black pilots or that if he saw one, he would think they're DEI. I think he was trying to, and this is my opinion, I think he's trying to convey exactly what I would think now that I'm thinking of it. When I see a black pilot, it's like, well, knowing that they do, with the DEI initiative, they put people in places based more on their race, gender, or whatever than they would their credentialing. Would this be the case? Even though we know that that's not the case with pilots and airlines.
Well,
right?
and true, because, you know, when you're in the right seat, okay, well, you're not the captain, you're not going to be one of the best pilots
No.
in there. You're there to continue your training until you can become a captain,
Right,
and
get your
take over
airtime.
the seat. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's why the captain's in there, to make sure that if anything's done wrong, so it doesn't matter if you're black or Asian or white or Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Iranian. I don't know if I'd want one of those pilots right now. You know, maybe in the future, but right now I don't think I'd want an Iranian pilot in my aircraft. But just to say that, you know, I didn't buy the whole DEI thing, because there are subpar pilots that have skills that will be good pilots
Right.
after training.
I think it was a poor analogy is
Yeah.
what he used. I think it was a poor analogy. I know he did one on civil rights and people got upset about that. And I still haven't really understood a lot of what he said on there, but I kind of take it that what he was saying was from a good standpoint. And the reason why I say that, before you guys attack me, is that the type of people that will put their life on the line, come out there, sit out in a crowd of thousands of people to invite conversation, usually aren't evil people. That's the type of person that want to open minds. So there's a duality there that I can't put my hand on, saying that this person wants to and is inviting all these people to talk to them and educate them and educate himself. I couldn't see him being that guy. So when I think about like his wife or maybe trying to take over Turning Point USA, I know that Candace was kind of booted out of there, and a lot of people are saying that that's one of the reasons why she feels angry or whatever. But I don't know Erica Kirk at all. I know Charlie Kirk obviously a lot more, but I just would think that if she wanted something, he would have been the type of guy that would have just given it to her. She wouldn't have had to take it.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know a whole lot of the real Erica Kirk, because
No.
she never got that forefront, never got out
She
there.
does
in the
now,
forefront.
but even now, I mean, she's not running his podcast is still going.
Yeah.
There's other people running it. She's basically kind of hands off. I'm sure she's collecting some paychecks on it, but she's she's now a business owner, so multi-business owner. But the guy was a philanthropist, right? I mean, he's given a lot of money. He's done a lot of things.
But the thing too, though, and again, I'm gonna push back at you here a little bit. Not that I'm a big Bible guy now, but I was at one point. I mean, I went to Bible college. I went to all that seminary and everything. And if you're biblically minded, you will remember the idea that the devil comes as an angel of light.
Yes.
And so he can look really good and really not evil.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that, somebody that's going to fool you or bring you in like that is going to be very eloquent.
Very eloquent, very tricky. I mean, yeah. I mean, if the devil appeared to you in devil form, you'd know.
You'd run.
Right.
You'd run.
But here's my analogy on that, because this is kind of funny now that it just popped in my head, which a lot of shit pops in there at the same time. Crack cocaine. Think about crack cocaine. Everybody knows what crack cocaine will do to you, and people will still pick it up today. They've never done it before in their life, and they know exactly what it would do. And they'll still grab it and use it. So I think some people, if they saw the devil, they would run to it. But that's
Yeah, some people would, but I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't run to crack, So I mean, there's a lot of people who wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but
yeah. But anyway, that was just kind of a.
So anyway, who's to benefit? All right, so some people say that Charlie had started to talk against the Israeli state.
Yes, he did.
All right, and it's pretty much played out in that. And I'm not even so sure that all this Iran stuff now isn't another smokescreen to get away from what happened with Charlie Kirk. I don't know. It could be part of that. But if that were the case, if Israel were to benefit from his death, it would be to stop the millions of followers of his to start complaining about what Israel was doing. That would be, I think that would make, if that were the case.
Yeah, but historically, when you kill someone, when someone's assassinated, who is that powerful, it actually always has the adverse effect.
Yeah,
He becomes a martyr.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. For those of you who said that, there was some guy on there. Did he mean mortar or martyr?
Martyr. Yeah,
Okay,
martyr.
a martyr.
He becomes a martyr, which, he becomes more powerful, than he would be beforehand. So there's something to be seen on either side. Deep state, the foreign intelligence, political enemies, any of those type of things, even from Erica Kirk, if she was involved, if Turning Point USA, if somebody else was involved in this, there's always that other side, right? The other shoe's going to drop. Something's going to happen.
Well, and it still might.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, it's been almost a year. And I think the reason why this exploded so much in conspiracy is because there's too much that we're not getting.
There's too much ambiguity. Yeah. Like we said, idle hands, right? You leave us to our own imagination, man. We got dragons and stuff flying around. We'll fill in those gaps. And that's what we do by human nature. We will fill in those gaps. And there's tons of gaps in this because, even early on, a day or two after he turned himself in, there was pictures of two different guys wearing the same thing side by side. And I'm looking at it going, those aren't the same guy. Mm-hmm. The jawline looks different. Everything looks different. Like, those aren't the same guy. And so at the same time, early on, I really had a lot of conspiracies in myself, trying to think of.
Well, that leads us to number 4. Where is this evidence now? Where is those two different looking people? Is that gone away? Is it no longer available? Are they keeping stuff away from the public now that they could have released?
Yeah.
Or is it because of the court cases? They don't want it all out there because they don't want to ruin the jury pool. I mean,
I think that's my number one, minus aluminum foil hat thought is that they just don't want to damage. If it had been someone, down the street that got murdered or whatever, and it made the local news, then yeah, by all that means, that's something. But this is Charlie Kirk, like worldwide, everybody knows this guy's name. It is such potential to ruin the jury pool. And I think honestly, I think it's a smart play to not throw all your cards out there to let everybody else see it. You have a couple of options. One, appease the public interest and let them know everything and risk you not getting the justice, that's needed, or keep everything close to the hilt until you have a time to do it and seek justice. Everybody wants justice, but I think what you said earlier on, there's multiple parties. I think there's really just two parties. I think there's a party that says he did it, and there's a party that says he didn't. And I think the party
how they determine how he did it is questionable.
That's where you branch out from the other side, right? The side that says he doesn't do it, because you have many different theories. But on the other side, guy was seen, he was video, he told his parents, he told his lover, he's got video text, he got a letter, he got DNA, he got all this. We had less on OJ, and how long did that take, right? So, but I think that there is probably a lot of evidence out there that we're just not going to be seeing until 2 months now.
Probably. Now here's something else. I believe it's John Kirikow is the pronunciation of his name. He was talking about the FBI's involvement here. Give a listen to what he has to say.
Why is the FBI involved in this? Charlie Kirk was killed in Utah by a kid from Utah who left his house in Utah, drove to the university in Utah, and allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. Nobody ever crossed a state line. There's literally nothing in this case that would make it federal, unless there was a conspiracy, in which case it would be a federal case and the FBI would be involved.
So what he's saying is that he doesn't feel like there was any reason for the FBI to get involved.
I think it was a personal favor.
Think so?
I think it was
From
personal.
Turning point?
I think it was personal, and I think it was a personal favor. Trump held Charlie Kirk very close to his heart,
High regard, yeah.
right? And I think Kash Patel looks up at Trump as if, he's Big Daddy Trump. You want to please Big Daddy Trump, Trump's friend gets assassinated, you're pulling out none of the stops to figure out what you can find out. That's why I think they're there.
Hey, here's something I just thought of. What if, God forbid, what if all this was a trial to eventually assassinate the president?
To get him out and
Well, no. What if this whole thing
like a
that
test?
they did was a test to see if they could get away with it? I mean, God forbid. I don't ever want that to happen. But
I don't. I think that the test to assassinate Trump is pretty much a daily at this point. I mean, I think there's like 7 or 8 now assassination attempts.
I don't know if there's that many, but
There's a few. There's a few that never even, the guy with the forklift that tried to drive it into the beast, and that never went anywhere. But you can look it up. It's there. Which is, like I said, I talked about this in the earlier podcast. I thought was kind of funny is I asked ChatGPT for a list of the presidents that had the most assassination attempts, and it didn't even list Trump. But then when I asked about Trump, it actually put more assassination attempts than any other president, which I thought was kind of weird that it didn't, you had to specifically mention him in order for it to throw out those answers. And it gave a list of them. So if you have a couple seconds to spare, do it yourself and you can see. But there's been multiple attempts that hasn't even really hit the media.
But the 2 guys on the golf course never even got off a shot.
No.
So,
Well,
but I guess there's still an attempt, right?
Well, you can imagine that security is pretty heightened.
Yeah. And
it's going to be heightened even more now because there's another guy on this golf course, camping it out and stuff hours before Trump got there. So, the guy's not an idiot. People say he is, and that's fine. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he knows the risk. I think he knows what's going on, and I think he was a little too callous and too arrogant when he almost got shot by crooks. He just thought those were his people and they loved him, but he didn't realize that not everybody's going to be his people and someone's going to take a shot at him. But I think that, like you said, if this is something that's a trial or a test to see how things will go, I think assassinating the president would be tenfold more impactful, both positive and negative, apparently for depending on who you ask.
Yeah, depending on who you ask. Yeah.
Right, but I think again you'd make a martyr. If Trump gets assassinated, I know people are excited about it, but Trump gets assassinated, man, I think that people are going to really start seeing a lot more stories, a lot more things, information that was hidden from them. And
you're definitely going to see his fan base, his supporters, turn him into a martyr.
They're definitely turn him into a martyr.
Yeah.
And you're going to have some that's
No
going to
doubt.
be violent. I know that the FBI statistics says that the right's more violent than the left. I personally don't see that, but I think that.
Well, but they're FBI statistics. How can you argue with those?
I mean, you got to consider the source. One of them is SPLC, so we found out what was happening with them. Yeah. So I think that we will see chaos if it does happen. I definitely think we will. But then again, what's that Merle Haggard song, rolling downhill like on a highway headed for hell? I think we're going in the wrong direction already. We are.
I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot of hope, and I hate to be the one who doesn't have hope, but I don't see anything getting better. Even if we elect a totally different president that has more morals or whatever, I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't at this point.
I don't think so either. You got Trump, which everybody hates, and I think
Not everybody.
well, not everybody. I don't like the guy personally. But I can respect a lot of things that he do, and I understand just from a standpoint of understanding a disruptor, right?
He's definitely a disruptor.
He's a disruptor, and I think that is one of the reasons why there's so much push against him. Because,
Well, that's why his fan base loves him.
well, yeah, because
He's not doing the same old, same old.
he's not doing the same old, and everybody from the left and right will say drain the swamp. Everybody says it, but now that it's being done, it's kind of wait a minute, that's not the swamp we
No,
particularly wants to
they
be
drained the reflecting pool, and they did it twice. They did it twice.
But look at things like I have to bring this up, and I know it's probably a whole conversation for a different podcast, but USAID gets defunded like 80%, and now all of a sudden DNC is like pawning off their building because they were completely flat broke. Where did that money go? Now the donors don't want to put money up there anymore, and so it's just, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that people are just kind of not aware of. But it's weird that this effect from Trump is affecting a lot of things. You got the daycare fraud, which was apparently they knew about it from years ago and they never did anything. The hospices fraud and all this other fraudulent stuff that things are just kind of now being exposed. Now I don't think anybody's ever going to go to jail for it. Nobody's. I mean, that one lady that Biden gave the award to, her and her daughter got busted for voter fraud. But
Well, and the thing too is that, there's a lot of criminal activity going on there, and it's gone under every single president that's ever been been elected. The question is when does it come to light, and what do we do about it when it does?
right.
Because again, doesn't matter whether it was under, Trump's first term or
Biden.
Obama's term or Biden's term or Trump's second term. The question is, once we know about it, what are we going to do about it?
I think this goes for almost all presidents. I won't say, and I'm not trying to split hairs here, but I think a lot of it is to bring it's a shell game. It's basically a deception game. It's bringing visibility to something, but nothing ever happens. Case in point, Fauci, right? All the stuff about Fauci. I don't care what that guy gets accused of and what evidence they have on him. I almost guarantee you nothing's going to happen to him.
Well, he's got a pardon. That's why.
He's got a pardon, but that's federal, not state. If the state goes after him, it's different. He's got a federal pardon. They can't stop him on a state case.
Yeah, well, they'd be hard pressed to put a state case together.
No, that's what they're doing now. That's what I mean. This whole inquiry is basically for a state case. They're going to go up, but then nothing's going to happen to them.
No.
Nothing's going to happen to them. I mean, nothing happened to any of these guys that really ever got caught doing anything. What happened to Swalwell, right? He ran, got busted for all this other stuff. Story goes away. Graham Plattner got accused of all this stuff. No court case, no nothing. Drops out the race, right? So some of these guys, you see this stuff happening, they just disappear. It's almost like a plan. And I think that the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, I think a lot of it is political show. I think a lot of the conspiracy is political show. I think a lot of the court case is going to be political show. I just don't see how, like, as far as benefit goes, like how it really benefits the right as much as I would see the left fighting to not have him become guilty. Again, that's because of the radicalization comments from the family,
And last but not least, was Charlie Kirk targeted for something bigger? We did kind of touch on that a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I mean, some of the things that came up in the research was, there's the Israeli connection, foreign policy, Iranian connection, internal TPUSA, Turning Point USA politics.
And his future potential political endeavors. That was a big fear.
Was he going to run for president?
Yeah, people were really afraid that he would run, someone with that much
Clout?
running even as a VP, people are going to follow him and they're going to believe in him.
He had a huge following. Yeah.
So
Yeah, he could have been, whether it was J.D. Vance's or, whatever the other guy is.
Rubio, yeah.
Could have been, his VP, or maybe he could have even led the thing.
Or just have some type of cabinet position. Anything. I mean, anything that he was in, he had the ability to go out and touch people. And that's a threat to people who don't want other people to be touched. Mm-hmm. That's a major threat. So, if you're a big target and you want to stop someone, and that person is like Malcolm X, right? Martin Luther King. You got these people. They were loud, and they were quietly being loud. At least more Martin Luther King. Malcolm X was pretty loud, but these guys, they touched people, and had they had shifted a little bit more to the political spectrum and had gotten good security and stuff like that, who knows where they would be today. But they never got there because they were loud and they were touching people, and
somebody killed them.
And somebody killed them for it. And that's I think even if none of these versions like the Israel-Iran attachment and all this other stuff, I could see Erica Kirk, Turning Point. Hell, even if Candace decided she wanted to try, whoever would have been behind it, I think that, to me, the abilities that he had would be the most poignant, I think, as far as a reason for taking him out.
Well, again, like I said, I don't subscribe to any conspiracy. I like to talk about it because it makes for a good conversation.
And it's fun. It's fun to rack the brain. I mean, you're a
it
puzzle
really is.
guy. I'm a puzzle guy.
Yeah.
So it's
I
a
love
puzzle.
puzzles. And so, like I said, we're not advocating any one over the other. We're not saying that it wasn't just a Tyler Robinson thing altogether. I don't know that we'll ever find out exactly what happened, but we'll probably get close to it in the next couple months.
And this will frustrate a lot of you, and I got to say this: you don't know either. I hate
right.
to say it. I know you're gonna. And if you're gonna flame me and you're gonna say something mean to me, at least use complete sentences so I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just like way off. Okay, what does that mean? And not to rip on any particular viewer. Again, we welcome you all, but just try to use complete sentences. I know that I mess up words and I'll get things wrong, and that's what's going to happen.
He's not trying to be a mortar.
No, I'm not trying to be a mortar, a pestle mortar, or anything like that.
Pestle.
But we love conversation. We invite conversation.
Yep.
Not enough to get assassinated, but we love conversation. So talk to us. We'll talk to you. We'll have a
full sentences, please.
Full sentences.
Get your whole idea out of your head, right? If you're capable. Yeah. If you're only capable of saying way off, well, then we can't help you there. But if you've got the words in your head, you can put them on the paper or put them on the screen. Go ahead and do it. And keep listening, keep watching, like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. We got some exciting news coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to share it with you. I can't wait. It's just a process. It takes a little while to do what we're wanting to do. But anyway.
And check out our merchandise too. Go to these2guys.com. Check out these things. You can actually point and say, this guy right here does no difference between cement and a political figurehead or something. Just, you can do that because you'll be wearing us.
Yep.
So do that. Yep.
And also on our website, you can get our drinks, our energy drinks,
and
Power Blast. Check it out. All right. These2guys.com. YouTube. You might be watching this on one of our shorts. But YouTube, of course, These2guys-GHR. Check us out.
In the meantime, peace out. Love you.
Take care.
It's these two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.